Hi everybody, welcome to IPO Stocks channel. Today I present you a new episode. Specifically, I will give you 5 strong online retail stocks for 2021. So this is part 2 of the series. If you missed part 1 for the online retail stocks for 2021, please have a look on my channel. And in this video today, I will give you strong online retail stocks with excellent momentum and strong growth as well. So I think it definitely pays to watch that video until the end with me and have a look at all of these stocks. So before I start right off with the first online retail stock, I have to make a short disclaimer. This video does not constitute financial advice. It's for entertainment purposes only, so please consider that. And also one more quick note, please subscribe now to my channel with a link in the description below so that going forward you do not miss any market leading stocks from me. So please subscribe now. Okay, so that was it for the intro. So let's start right off with the first strong online retail stock for 2021. And as you can see it in the chart, it is PDD, Pinduoduo. Here you can see the longer term chart of Pinduoduo, and as you can see, Pinduoduo was a recent IPO in July 2018, and after its IPO, from the nice IPO base here, it could break out of that IPO base around August 2019, from a nice and very strong uptrend since then. The short-term chart here, we see a base building phase, which is a period of pause in that uptrend. And also we see we broke out of that base and then we traded strongly to the upside and we built another base here. We could break out of that base and now it looks like we are building a shorter term base on top of that base, and I think soon we could break out again in Pinduoduo. So I think from a technical standpoint, PDD is looking excellent here. When we look at the growth characteristics, the EPS growth is not the strongest for PDD, it's minus 41%, but the sales growth is very good with 79%, and the relative strength rating is okay as well, or very good as well with 95. So I think Pinduoduo is definitely a strong online retail stock for 2021. Okay, so that was it for PDD. Now let's have a look at the next strong online retail stock, and it is SFIX, SFIX. Here you can see the longer term chart of SFIX, and as you can see, SFIX has been a recent IPO in November 2017. After its IPO, it traded quite long, or it had a sideways movement for quite some time, a volatile sideways movement. Here we tried to break out from a new uptrend, but then we broke down again and we continued that long-term sideways movement until, let's say, around October 2020, and just recently we could develop a strong uptrend in SFIX. The short-term chart here, you see an uptrend, and you see here a very strong earnings breakout or earnings gap, and you can see as well, yeah, recently we have been accelerating strongly in SFIX, and yeah, so from a technical standpoint, SFIX is looking excellent here. When we look at the growth characteristics, the EPS growth is sluggish with it's negative, strongly negative with minus 2,900 or so percent. And the sales growth, yeah, it's plus 6%, also not the strongest, but the relative strength rating is good with 94. And SFIX is in the hot online retail space, so I think it has potential. So I think SFIX is still a strong online retail stock for 2021. Okay, so that was it for SFIX. Now let's have a look at the next strong online retail stock for 2021. And it is ETSY, Etsy. Here you can see the longer term chart of Etsy, and as you can see, Etsy has been an IPO in April 2015, and after its IPO it formed a downtrend until February 2016, and then it reversed from the low from the February 2016's low, traded to the upside and formed a nice and very strong uptrend since then. And recently, from let's say July 2019 until March 2020, we had a correction or a short-term downtrend phase, and in March 2020 we reversed from that downtrend, traded to the upside strongly, and continued strongly with the previous uptrend in Etsy. In the short-term chart you see an uptrend here, and as you can see quite nicely here, we bounce off the moving averages, here we bounce off the 30-day, here as well the 30-day, and then this was a bounce of the 100-day. The green line corresponds to the 100-day, and here as well we bounce off the 100-day, and recently again we bounce here of the 30-day moving average. So I think these moving averages, all of these moving averages in Etsy show strong support. And recently we accelerated to the upside in Etsy, and from a momentum perspective Etsy is looking great here. So when we look at the growth characteristics, Etsy is looking excellent as well. The EPS growth is very strong with 483%. The sales growth is also very strong with 132%. And the relative strength rating is very good with 95. So I think Etsy is definitely a strong online retail stock for 2021. Okay, so that was it for Etsy. Now let's have a look at the next strong online retail stock for 2021. And it is CHWY, CHWY. Here you can see the longer term chart of CHWY. And as you can see, CHWY was a recent IPO in June 2019. So one quick note, why do I always look at young companies or like young companies and look at their IPO dates? Because after their IPOs, in general, the companies in the first 10 years after their IPOs, they have the strongest performance, or 95% of their super performance happening. So it definitely pays if you watch out for young companies with strong momentum and strong growth characteristics, because these could have very strong runs going forward. And when we look at CHWY, it had its IPO in June 2019, and then it formed a nice IPO base here. And it could break out of that IPO base, let's say in April 2020, and form a nice and very strong uptrend since then. The short-term chart, you see that uptrend here. You see as well here we had a short-term base. Here we had again a base. We broke out here of that base, and then we traded to the upside, and now it looks like we are building a shorter-term base here in CHWY. And I think soon we could trade higher in CHWY. When we look at the growth characteristics for CHWY, the EPS growth is not the strongest, it's minus 61%, but the sales growth is good with 46%, and the relative strength rating is okay as well, or is good as well with 93. So I think CHWY is also a strong online retail stock for 2021. Okay, so that was it for CHWY. Now let's have a look at the last online retail stock for 2021 for today, and it is CBNA, Carvana. Here you can see the longer term chart of Carvana, and as you can see, Carvana also was an IPO not too long ago in April 2017, and after its IPO it built a nice IPO base here and could break out from that IPO base and form a nice and very strong uptrend. And we can see as well in the chart, we had a breakdown last year in Carvana, which coincided with the Corona breakdown, and we made a low there in March in Carvana, and we reversed from that low and traded to the upside and continued with a strong uptrend in Carvana. The short-term chart, you see an uptrend here, and you see as well here we have been pausing or base building in Carvana, and we could break out of that base, trade to the upside, and now it looks like we are building a new base in Carvana. CHWY's growth characteristics. The EPS growth is not the strongest. It's minus 40%. And the sales growth is good with 27%. And the relative strength rating is good as well with 92. So I think CHWY is also a strong online retail stock for 2021. Okay, so these were the online retail stocks for today, and I hope in that video are some nice stocks for you which you can use for your research. And also please subscribe now to my channel with the link in the description below, so that going forward you do not miss any market leading stocks from me. So please subscribe now. And I had fun making that video, and I think this year will be an excellent stock trading year with all that fiscal and monetary stimulus going on. So I think it definitely pays to have a look at many stocks and stock ideas. So I think at the end of the year we could see a way strong year. So thank you for watching that video, and I hope to see you again soon. Cheers.